From sort of playing with my bike and things, my toys, I always used to be quite interested in sort of what made them work, sort of behind the scenes. So I guess I've kind of always had that kind of curiosity to know how things work, and really science is kind of the thing that sort of explains that, I guess.
I don't think I regarded it at the time as science, all right? It was more curiosity about how things worked.
Yeah, I was a science geek. I was born a science geek.
Curiosity about things like tomatoes, why they went red.
I was very much into sort of space stories, spaceships. I've wanted to be a scientist ever since John Pertwee was the Doctor.
Surprised that when I put green tomatoes in the dark, that they went red.
Well, I had the classic chemistry set and sort of managed to blow up parts of the kitchen.
I was associated redness with sunlight.
Why do you have species? So why can't, dogs and cats have babies was a very basic question I can remember.
Getting into trouble when I was 5, there was an area of what I now realise was cement on the playground at school.
I remember doing a project in primary school, and you had to make a battery circuit.
So what I did, of course, everyone else was avoiding running over it. I thought, well, why are they doing that? So why don't I run over it? So I ran over it.
And when you connected the circuit, a light bulb was meant to go on. You're meant to make it exciting and crazy, because for primary school, you want it to be fun.
And of course, there's a footprint left in the wet, drying concrete, and so it's something quite difficult to try and deny that you're guilty, because clearly you're going to get matched up. And there I was, and arrayed in front of the whole school as the guilty culprit. But I just wanted to find out why people were avoiding it.
And I've hid my battery in a little guy, and so when he clapped his hands, the light went on above his head. I got a special prize for that. That was the first time I thought, hey, I can do this. This is easy science.
All I remember was that apparently at a parents' evening, that one of the teachers told them I had a very good flair for chemistry. So you equate the sound with what's actually we're seeing. We can see there's some tailback, so it means that the water's going in at the top and then coming back out, very slightly lagging between when it goes in and comes out.
Well, I guess I was really more into maths than science. I loved all things numerical and loved playing around with formulae and that sort of thing.
I was one of the kids that was completely into dinosaur books, which was thought of as a little bit strange for a little girl in pretty dresses, but loved obscure dinosaur names, obscure names of bacterium.
Yeah, I was always into science, but that's because it was just always part of life. Because my parents were scientists, they came home and they were still scientists at home, so it was just their approach to everyday things like cooking or washing or whatever.
I made any number of oscillators, electrical things that just went buzz from a battery. That was absolutely fascinating.
So actually the thing which I really loved when I was very little was maths. It was nice and easy, it was logical, I could do it. It's only when I started getting into my teens that maths started being a bit boring, as I thought, what was the point?
I made a kind of primitive arithmetic teaching tool which just involved making circuits, and it was all made with thumbtacks pushed into a board with crude wires and a light bulb powered by a battery.
And so at that point I started getting into the astrophysics, but physics at school, to be honest, really bored me.
And I made countless kites of all descriptions, including some that had 3 strings on, not your 2-string kite, so that you could control lift as well as side-to-side movement. And some of those plummeted with relatively disastrous results, I'm sorry to say, but it was all fun.